Hello, this is Seth Coleman of Modern Domainer Magazine, here with Patrick Carleton at the 2007 Geodomain Expo in San Francisco. First question we have for you today, Patrick. How would you explain Associated Cities?
Well, Associated Cities is a network of city.com websites. To join Associated Cities, you have to have a pure city name and .com, and the domain has to be developed. Associated Cities helps its members by facilitating communication between the membership. There's currently about 110 city members, owned by about 35 different companies. They've been in the industry for various amounts of time, some a few years, some for 10 years. So they all have varying ranges of experience in the industry. So by bringing them all together, by facilitating communication, the sharing of best practices, they're able to learn and grow from each other that much quicker, that much better. They're all in the same industry. They all have different city names, so there's no competition. And as a result, they're able to learn from each other and grow that much better. We also put together group advertising relationships that all of our members can opt into. We're able to demand unprecedented payment structures from these partners, such as employmentguide.com or apartments.com for the apartments vertical. Our members then have the opportunity to join into these memberships and fill the vertical that they may not have already had filled, and make much higher revenues than they would have made by going out and trying to cut a deal on their own. We're speaking for 110 websites with currently 6 million uniques a month and 60 million page views. So some of these sites might only have, 100,000 uniques a month and maybe a million page views, which is a pretty good city size. But when you're talking about 110 sites with significant visitors, you can really demand unprecedented relationships.
Next question we have for you today, Patrick. How and when did you join Associated Cities?
I joined Associated Cities about 3 years ago, really through a friend of a friend. I had experienced a lot of interest in the industry, in this company he was a founder of, really, and he asked me to be the first employee of the company. A short 6 months later, after being part-time with the company for 6 months, because I couldn't leave my family business in the wind, I slowly ramped into Associated Cities, and all of a sudden, 6 months later, I was thrown to the wolves to be the executive director of the company, and here we are 3 years later, and three Geodomain Expos later. It's really been a phenomenal time.
Where have the previous Geodomain Expos been at?
Well, the first expo was in Las Vegas. That was only about 20 Associated Cities members, no public. We did not invite any of the public. The second one was about 100 attendees, maybe 120. That was in Chicago. That was last year, June of '06. Now we've grown that. We've about doubled that size, about 200 attendees here in San Francisco at the W Hotel. It's been phenomenal programming, some phenomenal sponsors, and the attendees have just been top-notch.
How has Associated Cities changed since you began?
When I began, we had about 40 or 50 members, I think. So we've really added a lot of members. I mean, we're at about 110 members here. Originally, when I joined, we just had a number of companies that own a decent-sized portfolio. For example, Boulevard's New Media has about 30 of our sites. Skip Hoagland's companies have about 15 or 20 of our sites. The Castellos have about 15 of our sites. We've been able to add a lot of these city sites have been out there doing their own thing that might only run one site, but they have the advantage of only having to focus on one site, so they're very, very well developed. Bringing in these outside companies, bringing in these companies that are so focused on these individual sites, they have differing experiences. So it's really been beneficial. The more members we can add, the more experiences we can bring into the mix, the more everybody can learn from each other and feed off each other to further the geodomain industry as a whole.
Okay, Patrick, the final question we have for you today is, what was your take on this 2000 Geodomain Expo?
Resounding success in 2 words. It was a lot of time to put this expo together, but the difference that this is going to make on the geodomain industry is outstanding. We've had top-notch attendees all over the face of this expo. I mean, the sponsors have been phenomenal. The attendees are all top-notch. The the itinerary, the agenda, all the topics we've been talking about. I've got nothing but compliments. I've had people come up to me and say, Patrick, this is the best event I've been to ever. People have been to, 15, 20 events across the domain industry, telling me that this is the best event they've been to on a number of of reasons, because of the attendees, because of the schedule and what was talked about, and just because of the organization. So we're very excited.
It was a great success for us. We really do appreciate the opportunity to come. Thank you, Patrick, for speaking with us today. This is Seth Coleman of Domainer Magazine, San Francisco 2007 Geo Domain Expo at the W Hotel.